children, teachers abduction close August 14. On APC more comfortable discussing Atiku than fixing Nigeria, says ADC. We'll take this break. We'll be back. Conversation on Oluyole FM 98.5 right in the city of Ibadan. Yes, like we said, stories making the rounds from the newspapers, The Nation, The Tribune, and well, when the Punch comes, we'll take some excerpts from there to Tola. There are some stories, some pictures that I can see here, some photo pixels here.
Well, front page of the Nigerian Tribune, and mud slinging from politicians ahead of the 2026 elections in Osun State. At August 15, the elections are to hold, and smear campaign. We can see pictures of bad roads here. Government delegates, opponents, they splash that on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Bad roads, and what they call them waste in a particular township, Modakeke, to be precise. And they are saying that they titled it "The Face of Bad Governance," and they said the dancer was a mistake. And they are saying Osun people, let's remove the round peg from the square hole. They call themselves New Hope for the Weak Foundation, and that's what well, we are not promoting what their advertorial, but that's what's on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And I'm sure their delicate government will have a response for them at the appropriate time, which is going to be very soon, I'm sure. But then, like I said, even and I wondered to myself, why go selecting the bad roads? Why not also look at the good roads in particular areas? Why not also look at the good roads too, and then just oppose them side by side and let the people assess this government? But I guess we are not in Osun State, but those who are in Osun State, both the indigenes and the residents, they will be the ones to decide. So I think why doesn't this particular foundation or whoever is sponsoring them allow the people of Osun State to decide for themselves? You don't have to tell them anything. You don't have to go splashing anything on the pages of news. Imagine how much they would have spent for this smear campaign. So let the people decide. The electorate, they are not blind. If you are showing them things, there are things that they can see. Let them decide whether they want Governor Adeleke to continue in office or not. It's not for you to tell them what to do and what not to do. That's my opinion here.
Yeah, like you said, they are why picking areas, selecting areas that are bad. Why not pick the good ones too? That you just
they didn't see the good ones too. It cannot be all bad. All right. Well, that story on the Oluyole abduction, the Commission of Inquiry, the Judicial Panel of Inquiry. Well, submissions on school children teachers abduction to close on August 14, and I guess the Commission of Inquiry wants to move at a jet speed. They do not want to waste any time, I guess.
There have been calls since last week that people should, submit memoranda rather. They should submit all things that they know, and all those things, all the evidences they should submit, so that they will move forward.
Well, it says Judicial Commission of Inquiry is set up by the Oyo State government to investigate the abduction of school children and teachers in Esiele and Yawata communities of Oluyole local government area, has called on members of the public to submit memoranda to aid its investigation. In the public notice issued on Monday, the Commission invited individuals and organizations with relevant information to assist its work by forwarding written memoranda. The notice read, the Judicial Commission of Inquiry set up by the Oyo State government to investigate the abduction of school children and teachers in Esiele and Yawata communities of Oluyole local government area has called on members of the public with relevant information to submit written memoranda to assist its investigation. It added that the Commission was seeking information, facts, evidence, and materials relating to the abduction, including the circumstances surrounding the incident, during and after the abduction, the response of relevant authorities, and recommendations for preventing a recurrence. And that's the most important thing. It must not happen again, never again.
Yes.
And that's the most important, and that's the whole basis for the Judicial Commission of Inquiry. Well, we wish them all the best in their investigations, and we all look forward to what their findings will be.
But I hope that all the students and the pupils and I think they must have gotten their acts right now, because they will still be living. I believe they might still be living in that trauma. Still believing that they are somewhere in captivity.
That notwithstanding, I think they would also be useful to the judicial panel of inquiry, because definitely they were the ones there, they were the ones in the eye of the storm. So maybe they overheard certain things, maybe they saw certain things that could help the inquiry commission. And I think they should also be protected and shielded kind of while giving them their testimonies. And I don't know if it's going to be open for press coverage. That I do not know yet. Until they start sitting, then we will know. But then, like I said, I hope they make useful findings, and they make useful. They find something useful, and they're able to make useful recommendations, especially as to how to prevent a recurrence. Okay, APC more comfortable discussing article than fixing Nigeria, says ADC. I think it's a two-way thing. ADC is also more comfortable discussing Tinubu than fixing Nigeria. Says 2027 will be decided by over 200 million Nigerians. Well, they are stating the obvious. Let's see what the ADC is throwing at the APC this morning. Okay, the African Democratic Congress has accused the ruling party, or the ruling All Progressive Congress APC, of being fixated on its presidential candidate Alhaji Atiku Abubakar instead of tackling Nigeria's worsening poverty, insecurity, and cost of living crisis. It's not as if Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has also kept his hands where it should be. He has never for once kept quiet in his tirade of smears, of missiles being hauled at the incumbents and the current administration. So, of course, what the ADC is describing as being fixated on Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, on discussing Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, is the response of the APC to Alhaji Atiku Abubakar's missiles. Well, most of them are actually factual missiles. When they throw those missiles, they are loaded with facts. I must admit that.
Yes.
Well, reacting on Monday through its National Policy Secretary, Malam Bolaji Abdullahi, the ADC said the APC had shamelessly latched onto former President Olusegun Obasanjo's critical comments about Atiku, while also attacking Catholic bishops for speaking out in on the country's deteriorating condition under President Bola Tinubu. According to the party, the Tinubu administration is desperate to divert attention from what it described as a catastrophic record on the economy, security, and the welfare of Nigerians. And the APC appears more comfortable discussing Atiku Abubakar than addressing the multi-dimensional crisis into which they have plunged the country, the statement said. Perhaps one thing the ADC keeps forgetting is that most of its members were also part of
The PDP and the APC.
And the APC. So, by extension, they were part of plunging the country into the abyss that they are now talking about. So, I don't know whether they think Nigerians have forgotten that the difference between the APC and the PDP, like I always say, is the difference between 6 and half a dozen. The difference between the APC and the ADC is the difference between 6 and half a dozen. Because many of the members of ADC were formerly APC, who did not get what they wanted from the arrangement in the PDP or the APC. So they decided to go into another party. Some of them even left the ADC to go into another political party again. So it's the same old people, and that they think Nigerians are not seeing this. So it's for you to now go to the polls. Stop pontificating. Go to the polls and test your popularity with Nigerians. Let Nigerians, like I always say, for the opting time, let Nigerians decide whether they want you or not, or they want the incumbent to continue in office. But try to extricate yourself from what has become of our dear nation when you were initially part of it. So I do not know.
Part of this show.
You have, and you have always been a part of it anyway. It's because, like I said, you didn't get what you wanted in the scheme of things where you are coming from. That's why the ADC is now in existence. And looking very viable. Well, it had always been in existence, but now it became more viable because some people found shelter under its should I say umbrella now? It's the PDP that chooses the umbrella anyway. So. And then, the Alhaji Atiku Abubakar also said something to President Tinubu, and they said sending money to states after unleashing inflation on Nigeria is not true federalism.
Yeah, but he had known that all along. He was vice president.
But I think, if Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is of this opinion, then I think it should also tackle the governors as to what they have done with the money. Yes, if he says it's inappropriate to send money to states after unleashing inflation, okay, the money has been sent. What have the governors done with the money? Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has dismissed the presidency's defense of President Bola Tinubu's economic record as propaganda in place of performance, saying no amount of statistical spin can hide the hardship facing millions of Nigerians. Actually, on Monday, to a senior special assistant on public communication, Frank Shaibu, the presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, said it was telling that the State House devoted thousands of words to attacking the opposition without answering one basic question. If the economy is doing so well, why are Nigerians getting poorer? I thought we were the only ones asking that question because we were the ordinary masses and we couldn't understand what it meant for the economy to get better. Except that we only see the economy as getting better when there is extra food on our table and when there is enough food on our, even if not extra, enough on our table. But then here is someone who has been in the corridors of power, who has been in government, a prominent Nigerian, also asking the same questions. Why are Nigerians getting poorer if indeed the economy is being stabilized? And I made the analogy of the patient in the ICU. If Nigeria is a patient and Nigeria is being stabilized, why is Nigeria not getting better? Why are we not feeling better? Alhaji Atiku Abubakar described as absurd the administration's attempt to run 3 budgets, 2024, 2025 and 2026 simultaneously, while asking citizens to forget the impact of earlier policies. Atiku said the presidency's response exposed contradictions rather than answers. The State House celebrates macroeconomic indicators while ordinary Nigerians struggle with microeconomic realities. It speaks glowingly about GDP growth while families skip meals. It boasts of debt ratios while businesses shut their doors. It trumpets reforms while millions slide deeper into poverty, Atiku said. Now, citing the IMF's latest consultation, he noted that while the government quotes the fund on reforms, it ignores its warning that 63% of Nigerians now live below the poverty line and about 27 million face food insecurity in late 2025. The only thing as usual that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar does not tell us is what he would have done better if he had been president.
And if we have preferred some solutions.
And remember, all of them at the time President Tinubu became president, the run up to the elections, all of them said they were going to remove petroleum subsidy. So I don't know what could have happened differently. President Bola Tinubu removing subsidy and Alhaji Atiku Abubakar becoming president and removing subsidy. Let's have this quick commercial break and we'll be back.
Tòkì kọ́kọ́ ó wà ní sẹpẹ́ fáàsì ọbẹ̀ àtàdídí àti jọ̀lọ́ọ̀fù aládùn yan àyàn ọlọ́gbọ́n yan góòlù kóró ìsebẹ̀ Terra Gold.
kọ́rọ́ kan àrà tí ò lópin Terra Gold.
Conversation.
All right, we're back and the program is still Conversation on Oluyole 98.5 FM.
Yes, this story sounds just right up. It sounds really interesting to me. GSM, OBJ, JFK, Lagoon. They are asking questions. What's cooking? I can see a picture here. Governor Seyi Makinde, Kayode Fayemi, and I think Oyinlola. Yes, former governor of Osun State with paying visit to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, the Ebola. Well, let me just go through this right up. It is not a rare conference of strange bedfellows. The only man odd out seems to be former Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi. Others have one or two things in common, but there are suggestions that they are up in arms against President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is seeking re-election next year. That appears to be the main connection. And Fayemi is a progressive in Ekiti. For now, nobody can actually say where he belongs as far as the 2027 election is concerned at the national level. He has attacked the ruling party ceaselessly and repudiated its internal process, saying that it falls below the democratic standard. His friend Rotimi Amechi has said they held the copyright for the document and other things that produced the African Democratic Congress ADC, on which platform former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is contesting for president. Now, the host, Ebola General Olusegun Obasanjo, former president, knows where he's going. Having attacked President Tinubu and ADC presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, he is for his choice and preference Peter Obi of the Nigerian Democratic Congress NDC. Obasanjo is on the way to Akwa. He may pass through Onitsha, where so many people, including members of the rural, hold him in high esteem. And again, according to military tradition, Prince Olagunsi Oyinlola, a general is loyal to the senior general. He has been Obasanjo's boy in the People's Democratic Party, on which platform Seyi Makinde is governor of Oyo State, and the same party produced him as governor, but the stolen mandate was retrieved from him during the second term. He was a beneficiary and casualty of Ibu's tactics. So that's
it's lobbying time again, and then a destination, the Hilltop Mansion in Abeokuta. And sometimes it could be the farm at Ota, where the general will be. It's home about now, as usual, when it's about this time. His home will become a mecca of sorts. Those ones you saw, they won't be the only ones that will go visiting. Others will still go visiting. Even President Tinubu, that doesn't seem to be in Baba's good books, at least for now. He will also be visiting. You can be very sure of that.
Yes.
So it's the same pattern again, Bimbo. And as for Baba Ebola, well, I don't know if it is suffice to assume now that Mr. Peter Obi is his choice. It looks very much like it, and it was Mr. Peter Obi stood with the last time as well. Ditto for the late Baba Ayo Adebanjo, and
yes.
the more prominent faction of Afenifere. Actually, I think Afenifere was split at that time as to whom they were supporting, but the regular elders that we all know, they seem to throw their weight behind Mr. Obi at that time. So, well, we wait and see, and we keep our fingers crossed.
Yes.
Like I said, but at least I think every politician, I think it's time they began to give more regard and respect to the electorate and their ability to decide as individual voters, not thinking that if we go to a particular person, that a particular person has the remote control of the masses in any part of the country or whatever. I think, well, I guess it's like that. There are people that are influential. There are people that can influence the thought patterns. Yes, it's like that all over the world. But then, the way our politicians carry on about it, it's as if, yes, in those advanced climes, there are thought influencers quite all right. Yes, they could convince the people, but then we can also see that the people also have their own mindsets. But the politicians in our own part of the world create the impression that the electorate are just a vast sea of mumus, and it takes just 1, 2, 3 people that hold the remote control. So when they go to those people, when they deflect to those people, they will be able to influence the majority to come out and vote. But sometimes you don't blame them for thinking this way, Bimbo. In a situation whereby, in a state like Osun, for instance, I think they said a little over 2 million people are going to decide who is going to be the next governor. Those are the people that have collected their PVCs. I refuse to believe that is the number, and those that have registered, Bimbo, and have their PVCs. I refuse to believe that is the number of eligible voters in Osun State. And on election day, even lesser than that will come out.
Will come out to vote.
To decide who is going to be governor. So sometimes you don't blame the politicians who think that it is the crowd that they have in their political parties, their party supporters, their party stalwarts, that those are the ones that will decide. We have to get to that stage where, and then we too, we are guilty, Bimbo, the media, sensitization, orientation, for everyone to know that your vote is going to count. Don't just go collect your PVC because you think you are going to need it for the purpose of exigency. Maybe you are going to need it for the purpose of travel, for the purpose of banking transactions, for the purpose of accessing health services or whatever. So that's why most people want to have the PVC, not because they want to vote. And again, so we start complaining. So I'm just thinking aloud here, remember, let's try to deviate from the original matter that we are discussing, that visit to Water Farm. It's just they are just kickstarting, and there'll be many more of such visits.
And of course, like the paper asked, what's cooking? We'll know when the cooking, ends, and we'll know the cooked part of it.
2027 is cooking. Remember, that's what's cooking.
Yes, what's cooking, and that is a part of some strategies being, backed upon here. And well, you said the press too has a role to play. That we are also guilty. Well, there are also some government agencies that are supposed to embark on some, activities. There's the Ministry of Information and Orientation, and some other relevant agencies. Yes, there is the National Orientation Agency. What are they doing? What are they doing? Not only the press, some other agencies there. They should, come out with various jingles, various messages, give to media houses. The media houses know that, yes, we know what to do, but they should also come up with some messages, some jingles, some advertorials, in newspapers, so that people will know what is happening, what is going on. Still talking about the police now, President Bola Tinubu will receive the Executive National Policing Bill for review on September 3. The presidency revealed on Monday, and this was as it unveiled a public information portal through which Nigerians can submit memoranda and position papers to shape the legislation before it is reviewed by the president and transmitted to the National Assembly. The Chief of Staff to the President and Chairman of the Presidential Working Group on the National Policing Bill Femi Gbajabiamila made the disclosures while briefing State House correspondents after convening a meeting of the group at the Aso Rock Presidential Villa, Abuja. Don't you think this is getting too long? It is dragging to me, but I know that
exactly my thoughts.
Yes, it is dragging. But I know that they must do a good work. Yes, but it is still dragging to me.
But the Archbishop Emeritus of Abuja, John Cardinal Onoyekon, he has been talking, and he says there will be voter apathy if Nigerians believe APC will win, says Cardinal Onoyekon. The Archbishop Emeritus of Abuja, John Cardinal Onoyekon, has said that any thinking or belief by Nigerians that the outcome of the 2027 elections would be in favor of the All Progressive Congress APC could lead to voter apathy. Onoyekon said this while featuring during an interview on Frontline, a current affairs program on Eagle 102.5 FM, Ilese Ijebu, Ogun State, on Monday. That any perception that the ruling party is guaranteed victory would discourage voter participation and ultimately weaken the legitimacy of the government that emerges from the polls. He noted that voter apathy in recent elections in the country reflected a growing distrust in the electoral system, a situation he said must be urgently addressed before the next general election. That's what we are saying, Bimbo. Cardinal Onoyekon said restoring public confidence in the electoral process was essential to improving governance, insisting that democracy can only thrive where elections are genuinely free, fair, and credible. The cleric maintained that Nigeria asked her to conduct a truly free and fair election, linking low voter turnout to widespread public disillusionment with the electoral process. And quoting the Archbishop now, my fear is that if it becomes very clear to Nigerians that no matter what happens, the APC will win, then most people won't even bother to go to the election. And even if the government, the real power wins, it will not bring a real victory actually, and it is not going to be possible to deliver good government. Now, my opinion here, I want to think that the Cardinal is not exactly or directly lampooning the APC government or castigating them or limiting their chances to win the election. What he's saying here is that Nigerians go out and vote. Don't assume that the polls are done and dusted and already decided in favor of the APC. Don't assume that things have been decided. Go out and use your PVCs. Go out and vote. There is technology now to at least prevent rigging to a very considerable minimum. The only thing that I think is the major threat, not even electoral violence now, the major threat to our electoral process now, I think, is vote buying.
Yes.
And I don't know how we are going to overcome that. But what the Cardinal is saying is that don't just assume, because it looks very much like, and I'm sure the presidency is going to have answers for him again, but I don't think that he's trying to limit or undermine the capability of the APC to win the election. What he's saying is that don't assume that the election is already a done deal in favor of the APC, and because of that you sit down in your house and don't go out and vote. Go out and vote. And you can also have the vote to ensure that your vote counts.
And we'll see what will happen. Yes. Now, the chairman of the House of Representatives ad hoc committee investigating the controversial Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council, Yusuf Gaji, has again come under fire as the panel prepares to conclude its assignment. And barring any sudden twist, the committee will conclude its assignment in the next couple of weeks ahead of the presentation of its report to the House in plenary. On Monday, a member of the House faulted the decision to appoint Gaji the chairman of the pro panel. According to him, it was the Plateau lawmaker, Gaji, who brought a motion on the floor of the House playing the Green Chamber to investigate the alleged agency. He said, "Where have you seen this before, that the member who brought an issue for investigation will be made the chair of the committee set up to probe the issues raised in that motion? I am not saying it is in our rules book, but it is definitely not a convention. This is where I think the speaker missed it." Yes, I think he missed it too there, because I don't see any reason why Gaji cannot be chair of that committee investigating, that council, that agency, that ghost agency headed by Prince Adeyemi. I know he's presently in, I think, police custody.
And the prince has yet to appear before the House of Representatives. They demanded his presence, and the police said that
the IGP said they should go through a due process,
a court process.
Court processes,
they have to get a court warrant for the police to produce him, and the reps have been silent. But I hope they are not going to round up without them having him appear before them. They should do what the IGP says if that is going to produce the man, and let's hear what he has to say to the investigative committee. JAMB registrar unveils 5-pillar agenda to drive board's next digital era. The newly appointed registrar of the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, Professor Segun Aino, has unveiled a 5-pillar development agenda aimed at ushering the examination body into a new digital era while consolidating the reforms and institutional gains recorded over the past decade. Aino, who officially assumed office following the expiration of the 2-term tenure of his predecessor, Professor Ishak Oluyole, said the blueprint will reposition JAMB as Africa's most trusted, innovative, and accessible assessment and admissions institution. I wish him all the best, especially when it comes to this matter of digitization. There have always been controversies, and then we have especially when it comes to the matter of CBT, these glitches that we sometimes tend to have. But then we have to move, despite the shortcomings.
Yes, but I just wonder, like you said now, I was now thinking that what if JAMB came up with this technology of having to do these phones on your phone, these exams on your phone?
Then they must have a foolproof method by which to prevent malpractices. I know one thing that interestingly, Professor Ishak Oluyede, the one who has now left the seat, he said something to correspondents when he was interviewed. He said it is parents that actually help to perpetrate malpractices. He said it's not the students themselves directly. He said it is the parents. So that's to show you the level of value system decline in our country today. And if the parents are talking about the fact that it's expensive to obtain JAMB forms, to send your children to school and all that, and you don't want them waiting while you continue spending money and seeking, in the process of seeking admission, getting them to write exams over and over again. Hey, look back in the past, things have always been like that. It has always been expensive. It has always been costly going to school. Even in days of free education here in Southwest Nigeria, there were still certain things that you had to procure, despite the fact that almost everything was free. So that is not an excuse for you to engage in exam malpractices. I think it's just value system decline and the rot into which we have dipped ourselves as a people and as a society.
Now, before we go through the lines, Labour gives federal government August 11 ultimatum over wage award, and in the sports world, Bonfrey Joe, you remember Nigeria's technical advisor, the second in command to Clemens Westerhoff, then when he handled the Super Eagles, he said 30 years after Atlanta Gold, I am yet to be rewarded. Yes, that is according to Bonfrey Joe. That means he has been forgotten, he has been sidelined.
And 6 suspected cultists nabbed over attempted murder in Ekiti. That's an abducted Kebbi High Court judge regains freedom. So when it's a VIP, they don't spend very long in captivity. And 2 suspected kidnappers informants nabbed in Bauchi. Let's open the phone lines.
070-5555-1985 or 080-5500-9850. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good to have you.
On the issue of voting this time around in Nigeria, it seems that the voting strength has gone down entirely. Because it seems that people don't have interest in voting. Even you will see on the election day, will be on when they will turn Romero to football pitch, play football, and not that all of us Russia PCC. They don't believe they believe that their vote will not count. That is it. Even you will see, State coming next week. I It won't up to 500,000. You see what happens. I pray that God bless you. I give you that well.
All right,
Thank you. The program is still Conversation on Oluyole FM 98.5. We'll come back after this timeout. Stay with us.
ìtọ́wò tó kí kọ́kọ́ ó wà ní sẹpẹ́ fáàsì ọbẹ̀ àtàdídí àti jọ̀lọ́ọ̀fù aládùn yan àìmọ́ lọ́gbọ́n yan góòlù kóró ìsebẹ̀ Terra Gold.
kọ́rọ́ kan àrà tí ò lópin Terra Gold.
ṣé wọ́n mọ tọ́kàndú gọ́vnọ̀ èmi mọ tọ́kàndú gọ́vnọ̀ Ṣèyí Mákindé gómìnà Toyota ṣèyí o ọmọ bàbá àti sá Ọ̀yọ́ kò lókè TS Charity ṣèyí o ọmọ bàbá àti sá gómìnà tiwa ní ìyẹn nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tọ́kàndú gọ́vnọ̀ kan tí mo mọ̀ Ṣèyí ọmọ Mákindé gómìnà Toyota. Ẹ wò Ṣèyí ti ṣèyí o ọmọ bàbá àti sá gómìnà tiwa ní ìyẹn nípínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ tọ́kàndú gọ́vnọ̀ kan tí mo mọ̀ Ṣèyí ọmọ Mákindé gómìnà Toyota. ká wí bẹ́ẹ̀ ká ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ òun ni iyì ọmọ ènìyàn iyì ọmọ ènìyàn nìkan tó wá kọ́ òun là ń pè ní olóòótọ́ ènìyàn bóyá tàbí ṣùgbọ́n kọ́mọ̀ ó ti rí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gbogbo ojú ti rí bí ọlọ́lá jùlọ gómìnà tiwa ẹnjiníà Olúṣèyí Mákindé gómìnà tó dúró tán ṣe mú bàálù ológun èyí tí a mọ̀ sí surveillance aircraft wọ ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ wá eléyìí tó jẹ́ ìkan pàtàkì lára àwọn ìlérí tí gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ti ṣe fún wa ní ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ ìdí wá nìyí o tí iléeṣẹ́ rédíò àti tẹlifíṣàn ti ìpínlẹ̀ Ọ̀yọ́ BCOS ilé akéde ṣe ń gbé òṣùbàràbàǹdẹ̀ fún gómìnà tiwa ní ti jíjẹ́ olóòótọ́ ènìyàn àti fífi tọmọnìyàn ṣe ní ti ìlérí tí wọ́n ṣe ní ti ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ọ̀fẹ́ tí kò mẹ́rí ni ká sọ ni àbí ti sísan owó àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ lásìkò àti àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ fẹ̀yìntì bẹ́ẹ̀ ni sísọ ìgbẹ́dìgboro kò gbẹ́yìn àti ètò ààbò àti bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ṣe ti wá rí wíbẹ̀ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni gómìnà Ṣèyí Mákindé wò ó ti gbayì jùjọ gọ́vnà tọ́kàndù. Ṣèyí Mákindé ṣe bẹbẹ lọ́yọ́ o ó ṣe bẹbẹ.
All right, we're back, and it's still Conversation on Oluyole 98.5 FM. We're still taking phone calls.
Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
I can be advised.
Good to have you, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Mr. Tola, listening to you analyzing the message of John now on America, I had this very clear thing, and my mind pray for you. Oluyole Joba.
Amen, sir.
God will continue to bless you.
Amen.
Your foot will never run dry.
Amen.
You are wonderful. Good morning, sir.
Oh, thank you for the commendation, Mr. Kobi Adebayo. Well, we agreed on something today. Mr. Kobi doesn't always agree with me on many things. This one he agreed with me.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Joba.
Good morning.
I'm Jide. I'm calling from Kolaba. On elections that Mr. Tola talked about, that some people assume they are the one winning elections in this country. They have the remote control of the locals and all that. Mr. Tola is true. Some people who know they are left from their life, they are left from their right in this country, don't normally vote. Majority of them don't vote. Majority of us, let them say that we don't go out on the election day to vote. These local people who does not know anything determine the life in the next 4 years of people in every space, in the local, the state and the federal government in this country. So the local people vote, and they understand this. People can easily be manipulated. People who does not know their left from their right. People who they can sell sentiments to. Sentiment of religion, sentiment of tribe, sentiment of locations and other political parties or affiliations. That is those who vote. In fact, on the day of the election, they go early as 6 or 7 in the morning, and they leave the election polling unit by 5 or 6. They make sure their votes are counted. But people who know their left from their right, people who are educated and are literate enough to know who is who and who is not who, those guys will stay in their homes because they know the result. They already know they assume they know the result of the election. So that is just it. That is what is happening in this country. So that's it. Even if there was a situation in Lagos, there was a time people decided not to vote for political party, and they planned on that Friday that they go out in mass on Saturday and vote. But that just reached the godfather of that Lagos then, and what they did was to put up that fight. And by 5:36, there have been gunshots in Lagos Island and Ikeja and everything. People stay at home. It was those locals that went out to vote. So that's just it. Then on the advert you put just now, I don't think it's necessary for PCS to be doing that though. I don't think it's necessary. So thank you.
All right. Thank you. Well, we just thought we should be fair to every side. You are right, well, it's an advert actually, but then if you listen to us very well, we are not exactly taking sides, and we are. As for well, you could be right on the matter of the fact that some people do have the most control of the electorate, because that is why a typical Nigerian politician would rather go to address youths in a motor park rather than go to a university campus to address youths on campus.
070-5555-1985. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Campaign and
Good to have you.
This is Conversation from Medellin.
Good to have you, sir.
See, our system in this Nigeria, the electoral system, either we like it or not, our electoral perspective is changing by the day. What am I trying to say? I'm talking about article. You cannot just say this government is not performing. Come out specifically. Okay, we are just modeling of everything. Is it on this tax reform or state police establishment or local government autonomy or NELFON? Are those things not good? Tell us where the government is failing. See, I would say if we talk of Nigeria system failing today, even Atiku and his people is more of a culprit than anybody. What has they done at home to make sure that those people they recruit as Amajiri who later go to banditry? What effort has he made to make sure that they go to school? And they are the one that are causing problems everywhere. The Fulani had that they belong to his side. So they are the ones spoiling this country. Then it's very just on someone. They are just like that. So Nigerian system has gone beyond just smear campaign. Tell us your own this manifesto. So that's what we need now. So then we will now pick whether you are the one that's better than this present government. So that's the way to go. Then concerning Oluyole, well, see what happened is you say that voter party. People should just make sure we go to vote. Don't think that this is the party that will win. Go and vote first. Then at least there are judicial system there. If you vote, you know that these are the people will vote for. You will be able to tender your evidence. Even the party you support will be able to tender their evidence that they vote for us in this place. So not that you sit at home. If 10,000 people go out on presidential election day, it is vote, it has been cast, and the winner will be announced. That's just the fact. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir.
Very much.
As to your question, as to what Alhaji Atiku Abubakar has done to make things better, I guess that's why he wants to be president.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, we lost that. Alex cyber stalking, lawyers verbal war stalls Showore's trial. They almost boxed themselves in court yesterday.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Sayina Bubu calling from Lalata.
Good to have you, sir.
Gone are the days. You see, during the election campaign, we see many things happen. And it has been happening since the time of the Oluyole. So the campaign used to be rigorous. And at that time, they be singing, lẹ́ẹ̀kan yìí kọ́, oníkankan kò ní borí wa, lẹ́ẹ̀kan yìí kọ́. So all sorts of songs. So, but that time there's no talk, there's nothing like doggy or insulting. And even that time, we had one man from Oshodi, what did they call him? So he's a popular UITW. So they employ him, the MPN at that time. So success, they call the man success. So he's helping the MPN at that time. So what I'm trying to say is that during any campaign period, you see many things happening. But what we expect is peaceful campaigning, so that people of each party will be able to tell the people what they want to do, and they capitalize on it, and they swear by it that they will do it for the people. Not that just come and tell people, you promise people, or pay promise. So we don't want that. And as such, the transport union, they should have concern. They should be so serious that this time around they don't enforce themselves. Look at what happened in the state that I now mentioned. Right the age of the NDIC, they use him and then dump him. So you don't allow yourself to be used and then dump. Thank you, Dr. Labubu from Lalata.
All right, thank you. You know, like I said, Bimbo, the average Nigerian politician would rather go win the youth wing of a transport union rather than go to the university campus to woo the youths who will be able to see through them and tell them a few home truths.
And will be able to, convince their colleagues about coming out to vote.
All right, check your time. It's 7:30. We have to go, and it's been an interesting conversation. We'll be back same time tomorrow morning, God willing. My name is Tola Teriba.
And my name is Bimbo Akombi. Thank you very much for listening. Enjoy your day.
Conversation. Charity ẹ̀yìn tí wà ní PCOS ṣe ti bọ̀ pé PCOS ti wà lórí Naija TV app ṣe ti rí pé no pépé dàbí reality confam ní ẹ ṣàmà wà kárí ayé PCOS to the world PCOS yà kéde. ẹ̀yìn tí wà lóníyọ̀dé FM ṣe ti gbọ́ pé a ti wà lórí radio box ẹ lọ síbẹ̀ kẹ́